Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayudirayet Ashtaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 1, verse number 10. If anyone would like to read the verse, you could raise your hand, please. Bhagavan. Okay, I'll start. Okay, go ahead, Madhumai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavanapi Bharata Tad Upanitārhanaha Suktavakyena Atitaram Udita Gunagana Avatara Sujayaha Priyavratam Adi Purushastam Sadayaha Sa Avalokayiti Hovacha. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Ayushi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dunat Pranam. Bhagavan api bharata tad upanitaraha shukta vakina eitaram udita gunavatara sujaya priyavataram adi purusas tam sadaya hasava loka iti hovacha. Hare Krishna, thank you Mataji.
Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavan api bharata tat upanitarhanaha suktana kitana atitraram udita gunaganavatara sujayaha priyavata madi purushastam sadayaha sarvaloka iti hovacha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Chitra Mohini Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. भगवानपि भारत तद् उपनीताहरणः सूक्तवाकेन अतितराम् उदितगुणागण अवतार सुजयः प्रियव्रताम् आदिपुरुषस्तं सदयासा अवलोक इति ओवच. हरे कृष्ण माता.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Shubha Rao Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Bhagavanapi bharata tadupanītārhaṇah suktavākenātitaram udita gunaganavatara sujayah priyavratamādi purushah tam sadayah savaloka iti hovacha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Prafulla Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. भगवान अपि भारत तदुपनीतात् हरण सुक्तवाकेन अतितार अदित उदित गुणगाणावतार सुजयः प्रियव्रतम् आदि पुरुषस्तम सदयः सवलोक इति होवाच. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Madhu Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. भगवानपि भारत तदुपनीताहरणः शुक्तवाकेनातितरम् उदित गुण अवतार सुजयः प्रियव्रतमादि पुरुषस्तं सदयः सवलोक इति उवाच. थैंक यू माताजी. हरे
Thank you,
कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Vijay Kumari Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. भगवान अभिभारदत् उपशीदार्गणः शुक्तवाकेनादिदराम् उदित गुणगणावतार सुजयः प्रियं वृदम् आदिपुरुषत् तं सदयः सावलोक इति होवाच. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Srinivas Rao Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. भगवानपि भारत तदुपनीतार्हण सूक्तवाकेन अतितराम् उदित गुणगणावतार सुजयः प्रियव्रतम् आदिपुरुषस्तं सदयः सावलोक इति होवाच। हरे
Thank
कृष्ण।
you, Hare Krishna. Anjali Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण। भगवान् अपि भारत तद उपनीतराः सुप्तवाकेनातितराम उदित गुणा गुणावतार सुजयः प्रियव्रतम आदिपुरुषस्तं सदयः सावलोका इति होवाच। हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Bhagwan, Lord Brahma, Api, moreover, Bharat, O King Parikshit, Tat, by them, Upanit, brought forward, Arhana, worshipable paraphernalia, Shukta, according to Vedic etiquette, Vakena, by language, Atitaram, highly, Udit, praised, Gunagana, qualities, Avatara, because of the descent, Sujayaha, whose glory is Priyavratam, onto Priyavrat, Adi Purushaha, the original person, Tam, onto him, Sadaya, with compassion, Has, smiling, Avalokaha, whose looking, Iti, does, Ha, certainly, Uvacha, certainly, said. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear King Parikshit, because Lord Brahma had finally descended from Satyalok to Bhulok, Narad Muni, Prince Priyavrat, and Swayambhu Manu came forward to offer him objects of worship and to praise him in highly qualified language according to Vedic etiquette. At that time, Lord Brahma, the original person of this universe, felt compassion for Priyavrat and looking upon him with a smiling face, spoke to him as follows. Purport by His Divine Grace Prabhupada Ki Jai. That Lord Brahma descended from Satyalok to see Priyavrat indicates that the matter was very serious. Narad Muni had come to advise Priyavrat about the value of spiritual life, knowledge, renunciation, and bhakti, and Lord Brahma knew that Narada's instructions were very impressive. Therefore, unless Lord Brahma personally went to Gandhamadhana hill to request Priyavrat, Lord Brahma knew that Prince Priyavrat would not accept his father's order. Brahma's purpose was to break Priyavrat's determination. Therefore, Brahma first looked upon Priyavrat with compassion. His smile and compassionate features also indicated that although Brahma would request Priyavrat to accept household life, Priyavrat would not be out of touch with devotional service. By the blessings of a Vaishnava, everything is possible. This is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as Kripa Siddhi, or perfection attained simply by blessings of a superior person. One usually becomes liberated and perfect by executing the regulative principles set down in the Shastras. Oh, Krishna, I'm sorry. Nonetheless, many persons have achieved perfection simply by blessings of a spiritual master or superior. Priyavrat was the grandson of Lord Brahma, and as joking competition sometimes takes place between grandson and grandfather, in this case also Priyavrat was determined to remain in meditation, whereas Brahma was determined that he rules the universe. Thus, Lord Brahma's affectionate smile and glance meant, my dear Priyavrat, you have decided not to accept the household life, but I have decided to convince you that you must accept it. Actually, Brahma had come to praise Priyavrat for his high standard of renunciation, austerity, penance, and devotion, so that he would not be deviated from devotional service, even though he would accept household life. In this verse, one important word is Shukta Vakhena by Vedic hymns. In the Vedas, there is a following prayer to Lord Brahma. Hiranya Garbha Samavartatagre Bhutasya Jata Patireka Asid. Brahma was received with appropriate Vedic hymns, and because he was welcomed according to the Vedic etiquette, he was very pleased. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी पृष्ठानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री साधि गौर भक्तवृंदा। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatayine. My dear King Parikshit, because Lord Brahma had finally descended from Satyalok to Bhulok, Narad Muni, Prince Priyavrat and Swambhu Manu came forward to offer him objects of worship and to praise him in highly qualified language according to Vedic etiquette. At that time, Lord Brahma, the original person of this universe, felt compassion for Priyavrat and looking upon him with a smiling face, he spoke to him as follows. All right, so we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, which is the creative impetus, chapter 1, which is what?
The activities of Maharaja Priyavrat.
The activities of Maharaj Priyavrat. Thank you very much. Now, who is Maharaj Priyavrat again?
Son of
Swambhu Manu.
Swayam Brahmana's son.
Son of who?
Swayam Brahmana.
Swambhu Manu. Okay. And then he's a brother of Uttanapad. And then the ruling has been done until the time of Prachetas, and now there's no one to rule because Daksha has taken to renunciation and austerities. And who came first to convince Priyavrat to take household life? Who came?
Swayambhu Manu.
And what did Priyavrat Maharaj say to him, his father? What did he say?
He did not welcome it.
What did he say?
Whether he will be deviating from Krishna consciousness by accepting the
Household life. It was very consciously he answered this, that is it going to be a distraction? You know, you're asking me to do something, but I've dedicated my life for this austerity. Is it going to be a distraction now? Then Narad Muni was already there, it looks like. And then Brahma came. And when Brahma came, we understood that how Sukdev Goswami took a moment to actually describe Brahma's arrival. He just did not jump into, okay, Brahma came and said this. No, he actually took a moment and then described what made it important for Sukdev Goswami to describe Brahma's arrival. What made him take the moment? What happened? So that we know that he could have just said no, that Brahma came and Brahma said this.
The carrier of Brahma, Swan came. And the Swan, appearance of Swan confirmed that Lord Brahma is coming now.
Yes, and then Brahma didn't come alone. He came with all the Gandharvas, Siddhaloka residents, Marichi Rishi, Angira Rishi, so many exalted personalities.
All the Devatas, demigods, and the sages, all of them.
Yes. So what made Sukdev Goswami describe this when Brahma came?
Because Sukdev Goswami wanted to emphasize that Brahma is no ordinary person. He is the original person in the Brahmanda, in the universe. And he has done so much austerities for being the secondary creator of the universe.
Very nice.
This importance that is he is emphasizing on.
Yeah, so he's basically describing that who is Brahma and who is going to talk. It's not any ordinary personality, but personality who has directly taken birth from Krishna. Right? Brahma is also called as Swayambhu, or also called as Hiranyagarbha, and who has taken birth from Vishnu directly. So it's not an ordinary person. So he is not going to say something which is going to be of negative influence on Priyavrat Maharaj's devotional service to Krishna. Remember, even Sanjay talks like this to Dhritarashtra. In Bhagavad Gita, Sanjay talks like when he says that Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamaka Pandavascheva Kimakurvat Sanjaya, right? Dharamkshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamaka Pandavascheva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. when Dhritarashtra is asking, what did, desiring to fight, what did my sons and sons of Pandu who collected who on the battlefield on Dharamkshetra, Kurukshetra, with a desire to fight, what did they do? What did Sanjay say? Sanjay said a couple of diplomatic things. What did he say? What do you remember? Huh? What do you remember? What did he say?
He addressed Duryodhana as Raja.
Right.
He
Okay,
addressed,
that's one point. He because he understood that Dhritarashtra's mind is disturbed. Right. And then what else? What did he say?
then he described their Shankha Dhwani as Divya.
Right, I'm talking about the diplomacy. Yeah, he described what is going on in the field, but the diplomatic statements are, one is that he addressed Duryodhana as Raja, and then he also,
Second is Duryodhana has gone to Dronacharya and then telling him that he should not make any mistakes, and thus he is overriding and saying that he is the boss. And then he goes to Bhishma Pitama.
yes, so basically diplomatic statements are, he makes couple of them in Bhagavad Gita, if you read carefully, that okay, he understood the Dhritarashtra's mind is disturbed, so he describes Duryodhana as Raja. But when he describes Bhishma Dev, he describes in such a way that okay, Bhishma Dev has given his consent to be with Duryodhan, but he knows that when Krishna is on the other side, they're not going to win the war. So there's a diplomacy there. I think it's verse 19 of first chapter. And when Krishna comes, Krishna is addressed as Achyuta. So he describes that, when, and then he says, Hridyani Vradaharet, right? When the transcendental conch shells of Arjuna and Krishna are blown and Pandavas are blown, then Hridyani Vradaharet, the other party's heart was shattered. He could have just said that they blew the conch shells, but he said, no, transcendental conch shell, which shattered the hearts of the other party. So basically, he's diplomatically, understanding that who he's talking to. Like that, we can relate that Sukdev Goswami is a very good teacher. If we learn how to teach, there are so many courses taught all over the world. We can only just come to Srimad Bhagavatam and learn how to teach and how to learn. So many methods of teaching are there. Now, Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukdev Goswami 2 questions. Yes, what are those 2 questions in the beginning of the chapter? Verse number 1, verse number 4. What are the questions?
How a
How can
self-realized
One who
soul
is advanced in Krishna
can best.
consciousness, how he can become household
Okay, there
life.
are 2 people overlapping each other, so I can't. You have to raise your hand. What are the 2 questions?
The one who is advanced in Krishna consciousness, how he can enjoy the household life.
And the second question
was one who is advanced in Krishna, the household life, who is very much interested in the sense gratification, how he can become perfect in Krishna consciousness.
Yes, so basically both dual-fold. Then Sukdev Goswami says, yes, your point is right. Both are correct, but both are possible by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. And then we studied about the impediments. Now Brahma is coming, and Sukdev Goswami has understood the mind of Parikshit Maharaj. So he wants to emphasize that Priyavrat Maharaj is going to be given this order to enter the household life, not by ordinary personalities. The drive to enter the household life is not going to be the sense of sense gratification. Or one Maharaj, Swami Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj analyzed one time that, you see, we seek validation, we seek association, we seek companionship, we seek joyfulness, we seek friendship. But why do we seek all this? If we really go deep down, because we are insecure about our position in this material world. Very insecure. That's okay, we can name it, we are social animal, we are this, we are that, but the real spiritual reason is because we are not secure in who we are. So we seek. That doesn't mean that we should not seek, but then we can change the reason. We can change the reason of seeking. Right now, the reason is this. So Maharaj Priyavrat is not going to enter the household life on his own speculation or on his own desire, or on his own menial understanding of how the life should go about, or by hearing others that this is how you have to lead, that now you have done enough of austerities, now you have to enter the household life, and now you have to rule the kingdom, enjoy life, and then come back to sannyas. No, he's going to be ordered. It's an order. So here two things are happening. You see, Krishna consciousness is so full of expressions. Brahma is showing compassion and he's smiling. So compassion, is it a material quality or a spiritual quality? What is the difference
Spiritual
between
quality.
Spiritual.
Spiritual
what,
quality.
what
Spiritual
makes you
quality.
say
Spiritual
that?
quality.
What makes you say that it is a spiritual quality?
Because the Lord is Karuna Sindhu and we are part and parcel of Him. So we also have a particle of compassion in us.
Okay, in that way, every quality is coming from Krishna, right?
Yes, yes.
He says in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I'm an ability in a man.
Yeah.
So
Compassion is always for others.
Huh?
The devotee is
Hare
paradukha.
Krishna.
Compassion is always
Hare
for others.
Compassion is always for others, it's never for yourself. And something that is for others is always spiritual.
Okay, thank you. Vijay Kumari Mataji.
Priyamvradan is the grandson of Brahma. There is some attachment with grandson.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So compassion is a spiritual quality. What makes it a spiritual quality? We got some point because it is directed to the service of others and not for ourselves. Because it is coming from Krishna, it is a gift from Krishna, because Krishna is Karna Sindhu, or Krishna's devotees are Karna Sindhu. So it is a gift from Krishna. It's not a gift from the material energy. It's not originating from material energy. Okay, what else? What else?
The most important feature of a devotee, because devotee is paradukha dukhi, so he wants to show compassion and bring out the souls to the Krishna consciousness.
Thank you. Now we can go a little deep in it if you want. Like what is the difference between compassion and sympathy? Are they synonymous words? Why sympathy is not a spiritual quality? Why sympathy is still in the material realm?
Do not ask towards
Can you guys raise your hand, please? Because I want to give chance to everyone, and I wouldn't want to be. Dr. Avasti, go on, please.
Hare Krishna. Actually, when we are compassionate towards anybody, we do not ask for anything in return, But when it is sympathy, we show, we actually, somewhere we have these things in our mind that we need something in return. So compassion is actually truly dedication. It's not anything return we are asking for. This is what I feel. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Yes, Madhumai Krishna Kanta Mataji.
Mataji is sympathy is at a bodily level for helping the person towards giving some donation or some food or some clothing. But compassion is at the spiritual level for uplifting the soul. It's the for
Not
helping
really.
the soul.
Not really. But thank you. That's a very good point you're bringing up. But not really. Thank you. Kirti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, is it compassion like it's only for our loved ones and sympathy can be for anybody?
You're asking me or you're telling me?
Both Mataji, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you see, sympathy is the definition. By definition, the sympathy is I understand what you're going through because I've also gone through the same thing. That's sympathy. I understand what you're going through because I've gone through the same thing. Like somebody has lost someone and they are sad. Then okay, I know what that loss feels like. But the problem is that that doesn't mean that the feelings are going to be same for both the parties. Right? If somebody has lost someone, it doesn't mean that everyone is going to respond in the same manner. Does it? Does it happen? Does it happen like that? Like everyone is going to respond in the
No,
same manner?
Mataji.
No,
Different
Mataji.
people have different
No, it's
responses.
different.
So
You are
that's
right,
the
Mataji.
problem. There's a problem. And what happens is that sympathetic people, they're not bad people. There is no word bad or good. We're just trying to understand. The problem is what is explained is that they end up making themselves feel more comfortable. Let's say that we go to somebody who's diagnosed with a terminal illness. A sympathetic person, all of us have fallen sick at some point in our life. Is there anyone in this room who has never fallen sick with anything? Ever? Never, ever?
No, Mataji.
So a sympathetic person will go with the intention that I know what the body feels like when you're sick. I know what the body feels like, okay? But the problem is that you don't know what a body feels like when somebody is terminally sick. You're just going with that notion that I know what it feels like. So the direction, the advice, this is how modes of nature work, I guess. The advice will be that have you tried? I'm sorry to learn that you have this problem, but have you tried vitamin XYZ? Have you tried this treatment? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Whereas compassion is that we are trying to make the other person comfortable, even if it means that I'm not comfortable. In that sense, what it means is that if the compassionate person goes to a person who is diagnosed with terminal illness, for example, then that person will sound like, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I don't know what you and I can't even imagine what your feelings are. Would you like to tell me how can I help you? It actually, so it's not comfortable. If you have ever been in a situation like that, it's not comfortable to sit with somebody who's terminally sick and then you ask them, what can I do for you? So that is why it's a spiritual quality, because it's not about making us comfortable. It's about like, it's not easy to tell someone that you're not the body or the soul. It's not easy to tell ourselves also. Right? Is it easy to tell ourselves, I'm not the body, I'm the soul? Is it easy?
We can tell ourselves, but not to others, Mataji. It's very
It's not
difficult.
easy. We get bumped walking on the road, get bumped with the stone, and then tell yourself you're not the body or the soul. So sitting in a chair and say I'm not the body, I'm the soul is one thing.
Yes.
All right, but really, when we go through some loss, some negativity in life, or some pain, then you say, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Not easy. Namanishra Prabhu told me one time, before he launched this, and this Gita 18 days in 2020. He was trying this project, that project, this project. I was sitting with Prabhu, and then I was like, oh, Krishna willing, this will be successful, that will be successful. Nothing was becoming successful. Okay, nothing. He even traveled to Chennai with overnight train 2 times. Nothing was becoming successful. And I was getting very rejected. I was very sad. So he looked at me and said, you see, it's not easy. It's not easy to say yes to Krishna. It's not easy to actually agree to what Krishna wants us to do. Not easy. We may say that. Then now I understand what he means. So many years, so dumb I am. So many years down the lane. Now I've started to understand what Prabhu meant when he said that it's not easy. When we go through some trauma in life, it's not easy to say, Krishna, I would have gone through worse, but you gave me only little. Then we actually don't need any trauma healing or anything like that. But we do need, you see, we do need this processing, because it's not easy to say yes in what Krishna says, in what Krishna brings forth in our lives. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the difference between compassion and sympathy is this. This is a basic difference that I understand. And of course, what everyone else added was good. Somebody said something that, Madhumai Mataji, what did you say, which I said not exactly? What did you say, Mataji? Would you please repeat?
Mataji, that sympathy is at the bodily level, and compassion is more towards the soul level.
Compassion is a spiritual quality, but a non-Krishna conscious person can also show compassion. You know, for example, compassion would be like, there is one personality in Maharashtra, like what is the name of Rajat Maharaj talks about her.
Sindhu Tai Sapkal.
Sindhu Tai?
Sapkal. Sindhu
So
Tai
yeah.
Sapkal.
Yeah, so Rajat Maharaj talks about her that, you know, how she was but an exemplary life, you know, that's people have such exemplary life where they actually live for through their trauma, but they actually make other person's life more decorated. So it's like, you know, that Mataji was thrown out right on the day that she was going to deliver the baby, and then she delivered the baby in the cowshed and she cut the placenta with a stone, and then she was begging on the roads, and then she had hardships, and then she saw small children begging. Then somehow or other she collected all the children on the road, and I don't know what she went through. Like she started some small, I don't know, maybe she went begging and then she brought back and she started raising these kids, and then somehow or other got a job and started doing things, started raising all these children on her own, and eventually she had so many children who were begging on the roads and became such big personalities in the society, like lawyers, doctors, engineers, teachers, no, all these people are so that's compassion. We wouldn't say that as a sympathy, that's compassion. But in the essence, compassion is a spiritual quality, where we are not trying to sympathize with somebody else's existence based on our own experience. Okay, so over here, Surya Prakash Prabhuji, what do you want to say? And then I want to go to what Brahma is doing here.
No, if you permit me, what I thought is a subtle difference is there. Sympathy relates to the body, like an act of kindness. When you have affinity or connection to that person, you show sympathy. Suppose a person who has lost his kith and kin or met with a serious accident. If you have some connection, then you show sympathy. And maybe lip sympathy or maybe a physical help or something like that. But whereas compassion in the spiritual line, we feel that it's a benevolence. When you that you don't show sympathy. If he is not in a Krishna Bhakti, he is not able to do, you don't say sympathy, show some compassion. And how to go into that Krishna Bhakti Prabha, Krishna Chaitanya Udyamam, that what you call devotional, suppose he is not able to concentrate on Hare Krishna, you show some compassion and show the way. That is, I feel it. Sympathy is not related to the spiritual life. Sympathy is really more of material things. I don't know where I feel in that way. It's an act of kindness.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
So, one thing Prabhupada taught us, and I want to bring it up because there are standards of talking in every session, that we don't share our opinions, we share Shastras. Okay, so if you want to validate your statement, make sure that you quote either authority, spiritual authority, or you quote the Shastras. Okay, that makes the statement more authentic. I'm not saying that we cannot share our selves or our life experiences. We can share our life experiences, but don't say I feel or my opinion. Share that I'm coming from here because maybe I have seen this in my own life. That also is valid. Okay. Somebody had raised their hands and I don't know who it was now. If you would like to please say. Prem Prakash Adas Prabhu, do you know who had raised the hand? Shubha Rao Prabhu, Hanji. Go ahead, Prabhu. Shubha Rao Prabhu, now I would like to go ahead with the translation part. I'm not yet done, but please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sympathy is subjective and compassion is objective, Mataji.
Explain it, please.
In compassion, there is action also. In sympathy, there may not be any action. It's only feeling.
I don't know. I have to think about it. Thank you. Thank you
Hare
very
Krishna
much.
Mataji.
Yes.
Sympathy is found in every human being. whereas compassion is found only in the devotees. Is it too simplified?
You mean exhibited because it's there in every jiva? I mean exhibition of the compassion is most is in. Okay, thank you.
Namanista Prabhuji used to say that when you are devotee and you start spiritual activities, the first thing that comes up in you is the compassion. And see how it grows. That shows you how far you are going in your spiritual path.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. So one is Daya and another is Kripa. So here coming back to the main verse, Brahma has come, Lord Brahma has come, and he's welcomed with by Swambhu Manu, Narad Muni, and Maharaj Priyavrat with a very nice entourage, right? Very nice Vedic hymns and exemplary prayers. So this is the way of receiving a Vaishnava. And no matter where they are, no, they're standing on the top of a hill. So I don't think that they on top of a mountain. I don't think they have a lot of paraphernalia to offer to him in terms of objects, but they are offering their heartfelt prayers. Now, when Brahma comes, he shows two things. He shows compassion and he gives a smile. So compassion, why? Because he's very much moved by Priyavrat's determination and by Maharaj Priyavrat's vow to excel in Krishna consciousness. So he's actually praising it. And he's aware that Narad Muni is giving him the shelter, and that's going to be a powerful one. And smile, why? Because he wants to break that determination of not entering into household life. Doesn't want to break the determination of going ahead in Krishna consciousness. That's going to happen either way, whether he remains as a householder or he remains as a renunciant. But he smiles, and Prabhupada is saying because in sometimes between the grandson and the grandfather, there is this joking competition that who is going to win. He smiles at, my dear Priyavrat, you have decided to not to accept household life, but I have decided to convince you that you must accept it. So let's see who is going to win. But he also had come to say that no matter where you're going to be, in the household life or continuing with your austerity and penance or renunciation from the household life, you would still advance in Krishna consciousness. It's not going to be a impediment. So that kind of validation and security is what Priyavrat Maharaj wants. Okay, I'm going to do it, but only if this condition is fulfilled. That's how we need to learn how to make decisions. You know, how many of us in this classroom struggle with making decisions? Sometimes, of course, you may have never struggled to make a decision in your life, but how many of us have actually, struggled or have had difficulty in making decisions in our life? What to do, when to do, how to do or not to do? Anybody had a struggle?
Many times, Mataji. Many times.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Many times.
Yes,
So
Mataji,
those
many
of
times.
you who never had a problem, just
Almost every day, Mataji.
happy. Yeah, yes. So we all go through that. Prem Prakash, yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
The problem in making decision is you got to convince yourself first. If you convince yourself, then certainly you could convince all others in the world.
Yes.
So the most difficult part is the first and the final step. Convince yourself.
Yes, thank you. And that's a very, very powerful statement. So to make a decision, first we have to find out what are we making a decision for. What are we trying to do? And the next step is, I have learned from Prabhupada, this is my personal realization that there are 3 levels of existence that we have: physical, emotional, and spiritual. So is that decision going to impact my physical existence, emotional existence, or spiritual existence? And what will be, if yes, then what will be impacted the most? So, and then who am I going to approach to discuss this problem? Who is my source? Who is my mentor? Who is it that I can rely on? That's very important. Who are we listening to? because most of the time we do need someone else's support to help us to decide that this is the right thing to do. Like, for example, if people are trying to get married, they usually go with their astrological horoscopes to astrologer, don't they? Most of the time. Of course, some people might have
Yes,
never
Mataji,
gone,
it
but
is
most of the
common.
time, or if
Yes,
there's gonna start they're gonna buy the car, then they look at their bank balance and go to the bank and discuss that, okay, can I buy this car? Yes or no? So we need support of others in our day-to-day decisions. Imagine making a spiritual decision or making big decision. So one needs to be very clear. Priyavat Maharaj is teaching us how to make the ultimate decision, which is the purpose of our life, is to become Krishna conscious, how to make that decision, whom to hear, and how to get validation that whatever I'm going to decide is not going to be detrimental to my Krishna consciousness. Are we relying on our mind? Because mind can play this trick. Don't worry, you're chanting Hare Krishna, you'll continue to chant Hare Krishna. You see, you're going to continue to chant Hare Krishna. You're going to decide whether you do this or that. You'll continue. That's mind. I had one person in one of my classes. The devotee was a very good student. Was doing very nice. But then the person got married and never saw the person again. So inquired that what happened. So the person dropped out of the course. So I inquired like what happened? Why drop out of the course? Oh, because after marriage, the husband and the family, the in-laws are not allowing to continue. I said, you were very good. You were like so joyful and good. You see, this happens when we don't give it a proper thought. When we give, of course, the person will come back. I'm praying and this will happen. This lifetime or some lifetime, it will happen. I'm 100% sure. I have full faith. But the thing is, we get slowed down. So the pull and push of material energy is not a joke. Every day we fall, every day we get up. Every day. One devotee told us that what is most important in Krishna consciousness? What is most important in Krishna consciousness? You tell me. If I ask you, what is the most important thing in your journey in Krishna consciousness? The most important. What is it?
Every day we have to join this.
Continual devotional services.
Continue devotional services and every day do what?
Every day we have to join the ISKCON as if we are joining the first day.
Okay. Okay. And continue devotional services
To
every
be
day.
yourself.
Huh?
We have to love, to remember and love Krishna.
That's the ultimate goal. But okay, that's the
It is
ultimate goal is
Krishna's
most
mercy only that we can advance, Mataji. Daily, I feel that it is Krishna's mercy that I am able to join the class. I am able to chant. It is all Krishna's mercy.
for Krishna's mercy. Okay, thank you. Prafulla Mataji. Yes, Mataji. What is the most important
Hare
thing?
Krishna Mataji.
Mhm.
Every day, just as you have said now, every day we fall down and every day we have to rise. That is most important, Mataji. Every day we face difficulties and every day we will again get up.
Yes,
Hare
this
Krishna Mataji.
devotee said one of the most important thing in our journey in Krishna consciousness is to show up. Show up for chanting Hare Krishna. Show up for keeping your vows. Just show up. If you live in a temple, then show up to other devotees, to your services. If you live outside temple, then show up to see that your life is getting Krishna conscious or not. So he said the most important thing in Krishna consciousness is perseverance, is consistency. You're doing it. Some days, does it happen to you? Some days is very nice, chanting is good, everything is good. Some days, not so much. Does it happen? Enthusiasm waxes and wanes.
Yes, Mataji.
Some
Yes,
days,
Mataji.
material, the family
Yes,
and
Mataji.
attraction and something else adds more value, looks like adds more value. Some days Krishna conscious philosophy adds more value. It flips here, there, here, there. Does it happen? Does it happen?
That's the peculiarity of the material world.
No, does it happen to you or not? Here's the question.
Yes, it happens. Yes, it happens.
Yes.
Even your operations do not go with the same intensity. Some days are so good that you perform so well. Some days are so disappointing and bad that everything goes wrong. It's even said that Kabe Arjun Lutiyo Vahi Dhanush Vahi Baan. It was the same Arjun who actually won the Kurukshetra war, and he was the same person who was being robbed, even in spite of having the same Dhanush and Baan with him.
Yes, an ordinary hunter would shoot him, right? Got defeated. Yes. Yeah, so it happens, but the most important thing is you still do it. You anyway do it. Chant Hare Krishna, at least 16 rounds on your beads. Eat Krishna Prasadam. Read Prabhupada books. Whatever you're doing in your life, try to remember instructions of Krishna. Try to internalize. Right? By the way, why it happens is the explanation is there in Madhurya Kadambini, because this is a sign of unsteady devotional service. This happens only, this is one of the 6 stages of unsteady devotional service. This is called Taranga Tarangini. The name is also nice, right? Taranga Tarangini. Sometimes it is up, it's like a wave, sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes up. So it's a sign of unsteady devotional service, but that's fine. At least there is devotional service. The suffix is devotional service. So the single most important thing in Krishna consciousness, which devotee he said, and it made sense to me, is just show up, don't give up. Okay, so in this particular verse, understand that Lord Brahma has himself come, and which means that it was a very serious matter. And he has come to show compassion, and then he also smiles. And then we discussed what is the difference between compassion and sympathy, why one is superior to the other, and what is it that we look forward to imbibe, sympathy or compassion. And then we also discussed that how is Lord Brahma being compassionate to Priyavrat Maharaj, because he's actually very impressed by Priyavrat Maharaj's dedication, renunciation, austerity, and penance. And he's also very impressed by his concern for losing Krishna consciousness if he enters household life. So he's going to assure him that that's not going to happen. And then he's smiling because there's going to be a joking competition between the grandson and the grandfather, that he doesn't want to enter the household life. Lord Brahma is going to tell him to enter. So we're going to see who wins the war, or he wins the argument. Okay, and then understand that what is the most single important thing in Krishna consciousness, in your personal journey to Krishna consciousness? What is it? What's most important for me? What I heard from this devotee made sense to me, so I'm sharing it, but you can have your own answer as well. Questions, reflections, realizations, correction. And we also discussed that how Priyavrat Maharaj is helping us to learn how to make decisions. Hey, too many lessons learned from one pastime, how to make decision. And I discussed that physical existence, emotional existence, spiritual existence. How is this particular decision going to affect all these levels? If we approach Krishna, Krishna gives intelligence. Krishna gives intelligence to see. Questions, reflections, realizations, corrections. This I'll go to Manasiksha. Sympathy is expression of feelings without being internally involved. Sureka Mataji, go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I have a little confusion. Like here, Brahmaji is addressed as Hiranyagarbha. Basically because he was not born out of any mother's womb, isn't it?
No, Swayambhu means self-manifested, which means not from a mother. Swayambhu means self-manifested. Hiranyagarbha means from the womb of Garbhadaksha Vishnu.
Oh, and like in Ishopanishad, we heard that Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasya Pihitam Mukham. Is there any means
different
correlation? It's
I
different?
I am not a Sanskrit scholar, but Hiranya Garbha, Hiranyamaya Patrena, that's like a Brahma Jyoti, right? You just remove that. That's Hiranyamaya. This is Hiranya Garbha. Garbha means Garbhadakshay Vishnu, who is manifested from Garbhadakshay Vishnu, is Brahma.
Then
Hiranya
Brahma Jyoti
Mathaji
and
is a
Brahma Lok.
gold.
That's
The
Hiranyaksh.
meaning of the Hiranya is a gold.
It's gold, yeah. Mataji,
You see,
then Brahma
Sanskrit
Jyoti.
meaning, word can have multiple meanings depending on in what context it is used. For example, in Atmaram verse, very famous verse of Chaitanya Chaitamrita, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining Sanatana Goswami, he gives 11 meanings of Atma. 11 meanings. If you read Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is in 8th chapter, Prabhupada gives 3 meanings to the word Brahman in 8th chapter Bhagavad Gita verse 1. So there are different meanings depending on how we are using. Bhagavan word ultimately should be used for only Krishna, but we see that it is used for Bhagavan, Api, Bharata, Tad. So Bhagavan here is used for Lord Brahma. How come? Right? So it's, one word can have different meanings in what context it is used.
In fact, Mataji, Atmarama is explained with 69 meanings in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's what was told to us in last class.
Okay. I don't know. I just know from teachings of Lord Chaitanya that there are 11 meanings. Okay, that's good. Then you learn more. Yes, Mataji, go ahead, please. Sureka Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, and I have confusion like we say that the Mayavadis go to Brahma Loka, na? That is their destination. Then or Brahma Jyoti. Then Brahma Loka and Brahma Jyoti, do they have any correlation? Is it the same?
No, you see, Prabhupada explains this in the past verse. You must have read it with Prem Prakash Hadas Prabhu. That Brahma lives in Satyalok.
Yeah.
Where the
That is called
planet where
Brahmalok
Brahma
also.
lives is called Satyalok. But because Brahma lives there, that's why sometimes it is called Brahmalok. But this is not, this is still a part of the material world. Prabhupada explains this, I think in the past verse or a verse before. Where is
I
he
think it was the
explaining?
last verse. Brahmalok, Sadyalok, Charanlok.
I think this verse, Mataji. I think you have to go back and read this.
Verse 9.
Verse 9 or verse 8? Yeah. Verse 9?
I think it's 9. There are 4 lokas that they describe. Satyalokas,
8.
Then Brahmaloka, then Charanaloka.
They can fly. So according to Brahma Samhita, is interplanetary and they can exist on planet. No, it is explained in this chapter only. I read somewhere that Brahma lives in Satyalok. And Brahmalok is a part of the spiritual world, but Satyalok is still a part of the material world. But because Brahma lives in that place, sometimes Satyalok is also called Brahmalok. For example, Mataji, your house can be addressed as a house number, right?
Yes.
That house number, let's say, for example, 34 is where Surekha Mataji lives. For example, I don't know your house number. For example, like, okay, we have to go to house number 34. Okay, house number 34 is in this particular lane, in this particular place, and this is the color go. But somebody can also say house number 34 where Mehtas live, that Mehta's house. You see, like that. Did you get it?
Mataji in verse 8. It's Mataji in verse 8, where they are describing Siddhiloka, Gandharvaloka, Satyaloka, and Charanloka. Verse 8.
Prabhupada writes it somewhere. I read it today only.
Yeah, it's
Prabhupada
in
writes
verse 8.
it. That Brahmalok.
It's even in the translation.
Where is it? It appears on this description that there is a regular interplanetary travel between the planets of demigods. Another significant is that there is a planet covered mostly by great mountains, one of which is Gandhamadana Hill. Three great personalities, Priyavrat, Narad, Swambhu, Munu, were sitting on this hill. According to Brahma Samhita, each universe is filled with different language systems. Each system has unique opulence. For example, Siddha Lok, all residents are advanced in powers of mystic yoga. They
It's
can
on the
sacrifice
top.
and
It's on the top on the second line. All the four in the translation.
Similarly,
Just in the
the residents
translation,
of
the
translation, acha.
all the residents. Yeah.
Named Siddha Lok, Gandharva Lok, Sadhya Lok, and Charana Lok are great sages and demigods flying. No, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mataji. You read this chapter, Prabhupada explains that Brahma Lok, I had this doubt too, but Prabhupada cleared it, that Brahma lives in Satya Lok. Brahma descended from Satya Lok. But because Brahma lives in that Lok, sometimes it's called Brahma Lok. But that Brahma Lok is not the Brahma Lok of spiritual world. Okay?
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, any other
Hare
questions,
Krishna.
reflections, realizations before we go to Manasiksha? Nobody? Nothing in the chat? Brahmanic effulgence is golden colored, hence Hiranyagarbha. Brahmanic effulgence is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is name of Brahma because he's coming from Garbhadaksha Vishnu. I don't know what is the reference of this answer, Dr. Saxena. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I just don't know. Okay, with your permission, let's do this quickly. Verse number 7 of Manasiksha. And two devotees who did not recite Srimad Bhagavatam verse, please raise your hand. If you have already recited Srimad Bhagavatam verse, please give chance to some other people. Pratishtha sadrishta swapacharamani me hridi natet. Katham sadhu prema sparshati suchir etan nanumanaha. Sada tvam sevashva prabhudayita samantam atulam. Yatha tam nishkashya tvaritam ihatam veshayati saha. Surekha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. प्रतिष्ठा सा दृष्टा स्वपाचा रमणी मेर दिनने नतेत कथम साधु प्रेमा स्पृशति शुचिर एतान वनुमान सदा त्वं सेवस्य प्रबुदयित सामन्तं अतुलं यथा तां निष्कस्य त्वरित्वम् इह तं वेशयति सः. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Krishna. Okay. Translation. As long as the unchaste, dog-eating woman of desire for prestige dances in my heart, how can the chaste and pure lady of love for Krishna touch it? Therefore, O mine, you should always serve the incomparable beloved devotee commanders of Krishna's army, who will immediately throw out the unchaste woman and establish the pure lady of love in the heart. Okay, so far we have discussed the obstacles in how to purify actions, how to purify words, how to throw away the pride of the mind, which is compared to the burning urine of the donkey. So one has to be very, we can say that, okay, now one has become very pure devotee. But Raghunath Das Goswami says that even though one may have done all this, there is still unchaste dog-eating woman in the heart still. So what is that? So this verse answers any doubts about why a person who has given up material enjoyment may still have deceit in the heart. So there is a dead dog. The dead dog is compared to honor and praise. Okay, honor and praise. This is a comparison. And then there's somebody who wants to eat the dead dog. Who wants to eat the dead dog? The unchaste, disloyal, wild woman. What does it mean? So Raghunath Das Goswami is comparing to a wild, disloyal woman because the wild, disloyal woman represents desire. And the dead dog represents honor and praise. So the desire to have honor and praise. Okay, so desire is personified by a wild, disloyal woman, and honor and praise is desired by is represented by the dead dog. Now he goes on to say that this the wild, disloyal woman has a lover. Why is she faithful? Why is she disloyal? Why is she wild? Why? Because of this, we usually desire to live around people who are praising us. Okay, if somebody comes and tries to tell us about our fault or about our misconduct, we don't like to be around that person. In bhakti, if we are not doing it in bhakti, we are not doing it in regular life as well. That's taken for granted. So the desire to be surrounded only by people who are like kind of followers or praise is making this woman disloyal. Why? Because the desire is towards this dead dog. And who is the lover? She has a lover. The lover is deceit. Generally we try to portray ourselves better than we actually are to others, right? Does it happen to you? It happens to me. If somebody is coming to the house, okay, on a day-to-day, the house might be not so, the rooms might not be so well kept, but somebody is coming to the house, immediately the house has to be put in order, Yes? Does it happen?
Yes, Mataji.
Immediately
Yes,
it has to, there's got to be an order. Or immediately we also have to look well groomed. We might be sitting in our pajamas and not showered all day long, where somebody is coming, oh, we have to. Does it happen?
Yes. Yes,
It happens. So you see, there's deceit. That we want to portray something better of what we are, some better version of us, but we are not that better. So that's the lover of this wild, disloyal woman. In bhakti, we can make a show. Prabhupada says, no, show bottle spiritualism. Make a show that I don't have any desire for any praise or honor, but internally we can be burning with this desire that look at me, I'm a senior devotee, or look at me, I'm an advanced devotee, look at me, I'm a detached devotee, which we will discuss as Paranishta Bhakta, Swanishta Bhakta, and Nirpeksha Bhakta. Where are these dead dogs and wild women and her lover there? Okay, so then Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada explains that this desire for honor is the root of the tree of pretentiousness. What makes a conditioned soul pretend in the material world? This is the root. Which basically means what makes us lie. In 8th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a conversation with Mother Earth, and she's saying that I can bear the weight of anything. She said, we see that on earth, there's so many heavy things going on, right? And do you see that? Like heavy buildings, heavy machinery, heavy, everything is so heavy. Where she says, I can bear the weight of everything. Mother Earth is saying in that canto, but one thing. What is that one thing that she can't bear the weight of?
Irreligion.
Lie. She says lie. It cannot bear the weight of a lie. Imagine how much weight we are giving to the earth because of our lies. So this desire for the desire for honor and prestige in the world, or pratishtha, is the root of the tree of pretentiousness. Why we pretend? Because this. Okay, so I really like Manasiksha. I really like developed very like awe and reverence for Raghunath Das Goswami, because he's telling us that the problem is inside us. We're deceiving our own self. Now, how every devotee in every ashram can be harboring this desire, or this dead dog with a disloyal woman and her lover. So a person, who has reached to this point can have what desire? Definitely they don't want a desire to have big houses, big cars, big balance, money balance. No, what is the deceit? So in a Swanishta Bhakta, the Swanishta Bhakta, the desire is to be, I'm reading from the book, to be renowned as religious, sinless, and benevolent. And in a Paranishta Bhakta, the desire is to show themselves as very detached and as a knower of spiritual matters. You know, a Paranishta Bhakta is a Bhakta who's living with a family and has an outside job and is a devotee. But that desire for honor and pride can be sitting. How? That look at me, I'm doing all this, but I'm still very detached. Look at me, I'm doing all this, but I have still very good Vedic knowledge. That's the dead dog with a disloyal woman and her lover right there. So then Swanishta, Paranishta, and the Nishpeksha Bhakta, who is like in a renounced order of life, can have this anartha, how to be known as spotless and renounced. Like, look at me, I'm like spotless and renounced. So this is the way all the devotees from all different classes can have this deceit in the heart. So if a heart is filled with such things, then Krishna is not going to come. So what is the solution? The solution is, Raghunath Das Goswami says, the solution is to cry for help from army generals. You know, like very, very strong devotees, not just a regular devotee, but very, very strong devotees, like 6 Goswamis. You know, like Prabhupada, like Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, like Acharyas. Cry for help from them. Can you please help me get rid of this dead dog and the disloyal wild woman who wants to eat this dead dog along with her lover? Just get it out from my heart. Can you please do that? So we have to cry for help to army generals. If we don't do that, then so far, you see, we have gotten rid of the tigress, the prostitute, and we have also gotten rid of the thieves who were the plunderers on the shining path of bhakti. If we don't do this, then they all can return. Everybody can return. Now, if we do that, then this lady who is representing the pure devotional service gets established in the heart in a very beautiful, the heart becomes a very beautiful city of worship for Krishna. And that is the aim of life, right? To have Krishna. So how do we do that? By embracing other devotees. How do we call for help from army generals? By embracing other devotees, by washing the lotus feet of the devotees. And then what happens? Did I not put all the slides? 1 second. I think I'm missing some slides. 1 second, I'm sorry. I should have checked it. Let me see if I can show you in the book. And how can we do that? By embracing the devotees, by touching the foot, the dust. You can see this, can you see this? I'm so sorry to do it like this. Touching the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. Then Narad Muni did it by eating the remnants of the prasadam left by the devotees, right? That's how he became the Narad Muni. And then also by requesting the devotees to give them the spiritual potency. Paijata messaged me yesterday. I feel like I'm fortunate to be surrounded by such devotees. Like she said, we need each other in Krishna consciousness. My friend reminded me that we actually need each other. We have to pray for each other for mercy, that let's help each other because we can't survive this struggle against material nature alone. It's not going to happen. If somebody does that, then you know, these gopis, they're getting ready for Krishna's pleasure. So that love, the lady love for Krishna, gets established in the heart. Okay, so far, you see, we have gotten rid of the prostitute who is stealing one of all the qualities. We have gotten rid of the tigress in the name of a liberation. And the antidote for getting rid of them was to worship Krishna, right? And then the antidote for getting rid of all the thieves and the shining path of bhakti was what? Who to call for help here? Who to call for help? Who can help us to get rid of the shining thieves of the shining path of bhakti? Either it's Krishna or Krishna's devotees, the killer of Baka, right? The killer of Baka. The devotees of the killer of Baka, sorry, which is Krishna's devotees. And then we have also gotten rid of the pride of the mind, which is represented by burning donkey urine, by calling for help for who? By swimming in the ocean of love, by calling for help from
Gandharvika Giridhari.
Gandharvika Giridhari. Very nice. Now in this verse, to get rid of this wild, disloyal woman and her lover by calling the army generals. Okay, so it's a very deep verse that we have to kind of meditate on every day. That okay, I may be advancing in bhakti, I may be thinking like that, but am I really advancing in bhakti, or am I, trying to have some pride or attract some honor because I'm in devotional service? Going to Krishna is such a natural thing, and then we try to make it unnatural by inviting some pride. Now tell me one thing, when people praise us, do they really, really, really mean what they say? Do they really mean
No,
what they
Mataji.
say?
Not necessary.
Very few.
Very few. Very few.
We don't. Because you see, people look at us, or we look at people the way we want to, or the way they want to. There's no like holistic view. But army generals or senior devotees or acharyas look at us the way we are, which we also might not know. Right? Every morning when I dress my deities, I do this achaman. There's this achaman to be done. I don't know if you do all the before entering the altar of your house. You have to purify your body with the, yes, by shower, but also with the mantras. This purifying the head, purifying the eyes, purifying the nostrils, purifying the upper lip, the lower lip, the ears, the shoulders, right? All these things you purify, the hands, the feet. So then you enter. So every time I recite, I'm saying, my goodness, I think I'm clean. But this Krishna is telling that they still need for more purification, more purification. So acharyas look at us from a different perspective. And we look at ourselves from different perspectives. Somebody else looks at ourselves at us, or we look at somebody else from a different perspective. You have to choose whose vision you want. Okay, because there is no dead dog or a wild disloyal woman with her lover in the perspective of the acharyas. This very safe. So this particular verse is about problems of the heart. And what is the problem? The problem is that there is a dead dog with a and who wants to eat the dead dog? Disloyal woman, which represents desire. She represents desire. And this disloyal woman has a lover. And what is the lover of the disloyal woman? Who's the lover? Deceit.
Deceit.
Yes, very nice. Deceit. Or cheating oneself. Who are we deceiving? Who is getting deceived here? Who are we deceiving?
Ourselves.
We're deceiving ourselves. Yes. Okay. So deceit. And then what's the antidote? What's the antidote? What's the treatment to get rid of this?
Army generals.
Yes. Help from the army generals. Okay. This is in nutshell verse number 7. Questions, reflections, realizations, corrections. Okay.
This just reminds me, Mataji, of the English saying when we were in England at one time, that all the bad girls in the class gets the best boys.
What does it mean?
because they are all bad girls, and that's why they become popular, and the best boys always ended up with them.
Really? That happened in your school?
In the colleges.
So what does bad girl represent here? What are you referring to?
Bad girls are those who are not pious, who are doing lots of flamboyant things and can easily attract, and the best boys get trapped in them so easily that the bad girls end up getting the best boys, and the best girls end up getting the remaining,
I have doubt
That was a
how can that...
philosophy. That's a
All right.
philosophy that we had in medical college.
Sure. How come those boys are best if they're going behind in bias? Anyway, it's not about a girl or a boy. It's Raghunath Das Goswami is comparing it with that feminine figure. It's not taken literally. It's just a comparison or an allegory. Okay. Questions, reflections, realizations, or I can stop here.